come in, come along. Nice to see you. Ah, there you are, good, come through. I'm just pacing my study with a pipe and thinking, because it's been a while since I shared with you any of my ongoing Arthurian poem, or perhaps I should say cycle of poems about the Grail. And I think last time I read to you, it was the story about the island where they meet the hermit and then they see the white hart. And it's quite a long episode. Well, I've progressed on quite long since. In fact, I think I can tell you that as far as the Grail is concerned, the Grail cycle, I've finished it. And this tattered thing, printed on both sides, this is the manuscript. Of course, it's going to need some further revision, and I hope one day to see it in proofs and in print page and with beautiful illustrations and woodcuts, but we're a long way away from that. But I thought you might like to hear another episode. And as you may know, that in the end the Grail Knights, chiefly Galahad and then Sir Bors and Sir Perceval do eventually come in the right way and at the right time to the Grail Castle and achieve the Grail. But in the meantime, Lancelot, of course, is also questing and gets separate from them. And Lancelot, as we know, has a divided mind, and there's the whole thing of the love for Guinevere, and that sort of he gets there nearly but not quite, and he knows he needs the grace of the Grail. And in some versions of the story, long after, as a religious man, as a hermit, he finds it. But I thought I might read you the bit where Lancelot comes by himself, and as it were a bit before his time, to the Grail Castle and gets so close to the mystery. Just as he did, you remember I read you the bit when he's in the wood and he sees the Grail in the chapel in the wood wasteland. In this case, he's finally found a barge. It's the very same barge that Elaine, who is the mother of his son, had found and left for him at the abbey. And he's got into the barge under a sort of enchanted sleep, and the barge will carry him past the various magical veils that protect the castle. And he comes to the shore, around by, as it were, the postern gate of the castle by the sea. And I'll just read you a bit of that, and up to the point, perhaps, where he falls into a swoon. Though, of course, that's not the end of the story. So this section is called The Castle of the Grail. It was the middle of the night when that strange barge found land. Where breakers roar upon the shore, she grounded on the sand. Lancelot woke from slumber soft to hear the breaking wave. He stepped ashore, they ceased to roar, and all was quiet as before, and silent as the grave. Before him a great castle stood, her postern toward the sea. All on the stone the bright moon shone, and every tower he looked upon seemed wreathed in mystery. He walked towards the seaward gate, and lo, it open lay. The gate stood wide, but on each side a lion crouched, eyes open wide as waiting for their prey. So Lancelot drew forth his sword and moved towards the gate, when sudden, in the moonlit air, he heard a hidden voice declare, "No one may bear a weapon here, so sheathe your sword, lay down your spear, before it is too late. O foolish knight, you may not trust to sword and shield again, unless your faith can be your shield, then you advance in vain." And though that good knight feared the lions, he put his sword in sheath. "Now, my Lord Christ, deliver me. I trust in your deep charity. Strengthen what faith you find in me, and help my unbelief." And saying this, he walked between those crouching lions fell. They made as if to leap, but turned, as though such petty prey they spurned, and he walked safe and well. And now he found a little door beyond the courtyard there, and that door opened up to him. He saw beyond it, dark and dim, a steeply winding stair. He mounted swiftly up the stair and found another door. Again It opened silently, and left and right he still might see more doors, all open wide and free. The sea winds whistled eerily about the patterned floor. From room to room he walked full soft, but not a soul he saw. At last he found a spacious hall, tapestries hung on every wall, showing creation and the fall. And there, set in the furthest wall, a lovely silver door. But this door would not ope to him, however hard he tried. He knew no force could change his course, and sat without and sighed. And lo, he heard a lovely voice singing beyond that door. Praise to the Father and the Son, and to the Spirit three in one. For heaven comes to earth again, let all kneel down in awe. And Lancelot knelt down and prayed in fear, for he knew well that he was near that sacred place which neither map nor mind can trace, where God meets with us face to face, the chapel of the Grail. O fair sweet Jesus Christ, he prayed, if ever I did well, if ever any deed of mine did for a while in heaven shine, in spite of all this sin of mine, then grant me this, for I am thine, to see the thing I seek this time, just for a moment, see it shine, your true and holy Grail. With that he saw the chapel door, and lo, it opened wide, and clear and beautiful and bright, a shaft of pure unearthly light came shining from inside. And Lancelot came to the door and would have entered in, but a great voice like thunder spake, you may not enter, nor partake, there's more to make and to unmake to purge you of your sin. But on the threshold of this door you yet may stand and see, glimpse through the angel guard and fire, the end and source of all desire, the holy mystery. And Lancelot looked deep within, and this is what he saw. He saw an altar set most fair, and 7 candles burning there, whose flames burned 7 times brighter there, but brighter still, and yet more fair. The holy vessel shimmered there, and round about in fire and flare, the seraphim in glory there, worshipped in love and awe. And at the altar stood a man in priestly vesture dressed, and at the sacring of the mass he raised the Grail which shone like glass, and there a strange thing came to pass, which smote into his breast. It seemed to Lancelot he saw above those priestly hands 3 figures interchanging place, their every movement full of grace, and glory shone around that place. The youngest of these 3 was placed into the old priest's hands, and now he lifted him on high, that everyone might see. Lancelot marvelled at the sight, and feared the priest had not the might to lift that young man to the light. He, gazing still with mortal sight, knew not the mystery. Oh, who will help him bear the weight? Lancelot inly thought, and thinking on his chivalry, not knowing of the mystery, he cried, Lord Jesus, pardon me, but I must act, I must break free to help him as I ought. Then he stepped through the chapel door, over the threshold there. At once he felt a breath like fire seethe through and lift him, as a pyre might lift the flame and send it higher. Not the old flames of dead desire, but love itself flamed there. Lancelot staggered back and fell. He had no power to rise, and as he slipped into a swoon, felt strong hands lifting him, and soon they carried him beyond that room. But he could neither speak, nor moan, nor open up his eyes. They lift the good knight by the leg, they lift him by the arm, they lay him in the room without to keep him safe from harm. A wise man felt his pulse and paused and listened for his breath. He falls so low we cannot know if this be life or death. But take him to a chamber near and lay him soft in bed. Perhaps the morrow morn will show what in this night we cannot know. if his soul stays or strains to go, if he's alive or dead. Well, I think we have to pause there because otherwise time. You'll have to read the poem when it comes out to see what happened and what went beyond. And I love the way Lancelot, has this mystic vision which he could have understood in a Trinitarian way, but no, he's just saying, I've got to help that guy lift the weight. All of that, I'm not. This is all drawn directly from Mallory, although I've done my own way of versifying it, but it gives you a little taste of how we're going, and I now have it finished. So you'll probably get some more installments, but with luck and blessing and a fair wind, perhaps we'll have it out in the world sometime next year. Thanks for dropping by.